All right, today we're diving into a really cool tool that lets you take back control of your home network. It's called Pi-hole, and it's basically a personal black hole for internet ads.
So let me ask you something. All those smart devices you have, your smart TV, those smart plugs, maybe even a smart light bulb or two, do you actually know what they're doing? Who are they talking to online when you're not paying attention? Because, well, it's probably a lot more than you think.
And look, this problem goes way beyond the ads you see in your web browser. I mean, we're talking about ads that are baked right into mobile games, trackers that are embedded deep inside your smart TV software, and all these data-hungry domains that pretty much every device you own is constantly pinging. A simple ad blocker extension, it can't even begin to touch that stuff.
Okay, so that's exactly where Pi-hole enters the picture. But don't think of it like some app you just install on your phone. No. Think of it more like a dedicated gatekeeper for your entire home network.
So what is this thing? Well, at its heart, Pi-hole is what's known as a DNS sinkhole. It's kind of like a central bouncer for your internet. It checks out all the traffic from every single device, your laptop, your phone, your TV, you name it, and it just stops the bad stuff dead in its tracks. And you know, the best part? You don't have to install a single piece of software on any of those devices. You just set up the Pi-hole once, and it protects the whole network.
Okay, so how does this DNS sinkhole thing actually pull it off? Well, it all boils down to understanding a little something called DNS.
Think of DNS as the internet's phone book. It's really that simple. When you type howtogeek.com into your browser, your computer actually has no idea where that is. It has to ask a DNS server, like, hey, what's the phone number for howtogeek.com? And the server looks it up and replies with an IP address, a string of numbers that your computer can actually connect to. Every single device you own is using this phone book all day, every day.
Now, this is totally different from how a normal ad blocker works. See, a browser extension, it lets your computer download everything, the article you want to read and all the ads. Then it just tries to hide the ads from you. Pi-hole is way smarter. It jumps in and intercepts the request before the ad is ever even downloaded. That junk never even makes it to your device in the first place.
Let's walk through it step by step. Say your phone tries to load an ad from a domain like ads.google.com. Okay? But instead of that request going out to the internet, it gets sent to your Pi-hole first. The Pi-hole looks at its block list, sees that domain, and basically lies to your phone. It sends back a fake address, pretty much telling your phone, nope, doesn't exist, and boom, the ad just never loads.
And when you get this all up and running, the results could be, well, pretty amazing. You end up with what a lot of people call a much quieter and much faster internet.
The benefits are just huge. First off, you get network-wide protection. We're talking every single device. Your browsing feels way faster because you're not wasting bandwidth downloading all that junk. Your privacy gets a major boost because trackers are stopped cold. And maybe best of all, you get this incredible dashboard that gives you a crystal clear window into the secret life of your network.
So, how much can this thing actually block? Well, thanks to these massive community-built block lists, it's not crazy for a Pi-hole to know about and block, wait for it, well over 1.5 million different ad and tracking domains. It's wild.
But honestly, it's the dashboard insights that really blow people's minds. Patrick Campanelli from How to Geek put it perfectly. He said seeing just how often his smart devices were calling out to random domains was honestly just eye-opening. He even discovered some rogue software on his PC that he thought he'd gotten rid of years ago, but Pi-hole showed him it was still secretly calling home.
Okay, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. With this kind of power comes great responsibility, right? And yeah, sometimes things can break.
All right, here's the #1 biggest risk. Remember that phone book analogy? Well, your Pi-hole becomes the phone book for your entire network. So what happens if that phone book suddenly vanishes? Like the server crashes or you reboot it for an update. Suddenly, nobody on your network knows how to get anywhere online. Your whole internet access can just go down.
Thankfully, there is a tried and true fix for this: redundancy. It's simple, really. A lot of savvy users just run 2 Pi-holes. You tell your router that you have 2 DNS servers. If one of them goes down for any reason, the other one just seamlessly takes over. Your network doesn't even skip a beat.
The other thing you'll run into is that sometimes Pi-hole can be a little too aggressive. It might block something you actually need. You know, things like YouTube's watch history or those sponsored links in Google searches might suddenly stop working. The fix is usually pretty straightforward. You just have to dive into your Pi-hole's logs, find the domain that's being blocked, and add it to an allow list or a whitelist. It's a trade-off, really. You get total control, but you also have to be the network admin.
But for those of you who want to take things to the next level, Pi-hole can be the starting point for some seriously pro-level network setups.
For example, a ton of people run Pi-hole using something called Docker. It basically puts the whole thing in its own neat, tidy, isolated box. That way, it doesn't mess with anything else on your system, and it makes setting it up, updating it, and backing it up super simple and clean.
But what about when you're not at home? Well, you can pair Pi-hole with a VPN, like WireGuard. This lets you securely route all your phone's internet traffic back through your home network. What does that mean? It means you get all the ad blocking and tracker blocking goodness of your Pi-hole even when you're on the go, anywhere in the world.
And for the true privacy fanatics, here's the ultimate move. You pair Pi-hole with your very own recursive DNS server using a tool called Unbound. Now, instead of asking Google or some other company for website addresses, your network becomes its own phone book operator. It looks up all the addresses itself. The end result? Nobody else gets to see your browsing history. Period.
So at the end of the day, Pi-hole offers something pretty incredible. This granular, network-level control that you just can't get from off-the-shelf products. It lets you see everything, and it lets you block anything. But it also makes you the one in charge when things go wrong. So the real question it leaves you with isn't just about blocking ads. It's this: how much control do you really want over your own digital world?